Yes, we are.
We are live. Welcome everyone to the weekly live stream of the Age Diversity Forum. My name's Steve Anderson and I'm here with my Editor-in-Chief, Sadie. Hi, Sadie.
Hi.
Actually, maybe should have mentioned in these live streams that we've been doing for a few weeks now, haven't we? That we are in different places, Sadie and I, working remotely as most of the I guess most of the office working world is working remotely. I was actually on a meeting with a large international organisation yesterday, and they just haven't been in the office at all since first lockdown. They're working completely remotely, and it's quite interesting what you see in background sometimes. I think, this week I've seen clearly bedrooms. Maybe need a bit of a tidy up. No, who am I to say? But anyway, welcome everyone, whether you're live with us or quite often people catch up. This is recorded and is on our YouTube channel. That's right, Sadie, isn't it? And I should mention that, the YouTube channel is something that's been really developing over the last, since the new year, really, since the Making a Noise campaign started. And with Sadie taking the reins on various video productions, including the live stream, but our weekly snapshot videos that Sadie, you present, that all can be found in that YouTube channel.
So, every Wednesday there'll be a snapshot video. And every Friday will be the live stream that we're doing now. That will go out with all any links to articles that we talk about and links to other resources. And then not permanently, but on Mondays we sometimes have a "What can we do to stop ageism" video going out. So.
Yeah, and that's a relatively new but important video presentation of. What can we do to stop ageism? It's from a practical perspective, is something we're asked a lot by our champion partners and people looking to consider age diversity in the workplace. Is yes, we recognise age as being important. But how do we do it? What do we do? So that series, which I think there's three completed ones now, hopefully is some very practical guidance and tips about certain aspects of the workplace that you can take away from, watching and listening to that video and introduce, immediately. We try to make it quite accessible behaviours or actions or practices that can be adopted pretty easily, pretty quickly, and. I say, working with our champion partners, we're able to add additional resource and support through that relationship. So if you're thinking about age diversity and you're watching this, which is great, then maybe, go to our website, have a look at some of the content on there, some of the media that's on there. Thank you, Sadie. In particular, about becoming a champion partner with us. It's only with working with organisations that have these values and a consideration for age as part of the inclusion agenda that we're going to have change. We're a not-for-profit social enterprise, and we're here for a purpose, to make a difference, to at least mitigate, if not remove barriers. And this year, again, thank you, Sadie, for the prompt. We are delivering that message. We're amplifying that message under a campaign, hashtag Making a Noise. Let's make a noise for age diversity. There's lots of stuff out there about other protected characteristics. But just to echo, I think, something that needs to be said, it is as wrong, as unjust, as illegal to discriminate against age as it is for other protected characteristics. So, so come and join us on the journey. Sorry, that should be the last thing That's our,
I
this
love
is our last mantra saying. So I jumped early, but we'll say it again later. But every week we take half an hour to talk about things topical, whether there's anything that we see in the news, in articles, in blogs, things that we are hearing from our conversations during the week, particularly with our champion partners, and just mentioned about the remote working aspect and how that is affected, how that has been affected and then impacted by the COVID situation. And that same conversation I mentioned went on in that they're only going to review the situation in September. So, and before COVID, this was an organisation that had no remote working at all. Completely, people went to the workplace, whether that was factory-based or office-based. But obviously, COVID, they've had to find new ways of working. And even though, and this is an organisation in the UK where I know it's just been delayed, but the ease of restrictions is due now, I think mid-July, July 19th. And even with that milestone that hopefully we hit, they're only going to consider that working practice, a couple of months later, so September. And then the feeling they have, and what I got in the conversation was that the remote working would continue in some way. So that puts, I guess, not pressures, but it puts emphasis on certain ways of working, and it maybe enhances our thoughts and considerations for not just how people work, but who we have working in our organisations. And for this organisation, it really promoted the metric of age in their organisation, and it was very much about whilst they have some challenges in certain locations for an aging workforce, and how do they maintain skills and experience and maybe redeploy, and how do they bring in other people to the organisation. Very much a consideration for all the values and experience and knowledge that those individuals can bring, whatever their age. And say this is something that's come up, on several occasions during our live streams, because I think it's one of those probably centric points to the whole discussion.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we've heard from yourself, before about some of the things that go on in the college world that are giving some guidance or instruction that I thought were mainly, reserved for older people in terms of, don't mention your age in certain places. And that actually came up in conversation last Friday. And last Friday, June 11th, was Champion Age Diversity Day. Yay!
Yay.
We will have bunting. Sadie has requested it.
Yes, we need bunting. Bunting makes everything better.
We will have Age Diversity Day bunting. But say it was something that come up in the discussion in the day, and I think in our live panel event as well, that very much a multi-generational aspect, and the discussion around vocabulary and language used, and how the different generational groups, there are different generational groups, and they have labels, and those labels are being added to, so I think there's 5 official sort of labels from baby boomers through to millennials and Gen Z and whatever. But there's different labels being introduced, like one I think I mentioned a couple of weeks ago, the geriatric millennial, which just sounds horrible in many ways. And it doesn't sound like it's meant to be something that's helpful or advantageous. It very much sounds derogatory in some sense. Yeah, the whole consideration around multi-generational working and getting that cohesive and collaborative working across all age groups is the way to enhance the workplace. And I think the whole remote working situation has probably put a bit more focus on inclusion more generally, to make sure people in the workforce, because they're not immediately seen across the office or whatever, that there is that sense of inclusion. And I think that's maybe helped sort of smooth out some of the barriers, because working in different locations as we are today, I guess we don't want to leave people behind. We want to make sure that people still have a voice and still have a contribution to be made. But yes, last week, June 11th, Champion Age Diversity Day. Let's give another hooray. It was excellent. It was just I think leading up to it, we talked about it on several of these live streams about that we had seen more recognition of the day from more organisations, from more locations, and that was absolutely evidenced on the day from what we were seeing going around, media channels, and for the actual, we had a really good live event where we had by the way, I should say a huge thank you before I get to our sponsors, our supporters, our facilitators on the day, Hansuki, our two champion partners in particular, Hansuki and Elsevier, who just really put huge resource and effort into supporting that live event, together with the likes of London and partners who helped promote the event across the world. So yes, some really strong support for that live event. And we had a keynote address from Professor Andrew Scott of the London Business School, but also probably most renowned for his co-author of the 100-Year Life book, which was published, I think, about 4 years ago, but is, renowned in the age discussion. And to have him, first of all, give the keynote and then join the panel afterwards, along with myself, Karen Hilton from Elsevier, and chaired by Ali Kazemi from Hansuki. It was about an hour and a half in total, and it was recorded. We're just packaging it to make sure it's available to everyone. So we'll make sure that we let everyone know how to access that. But no, just a really good discussion, and in attendance, live, we had over 400 people from all places. I think, Sadie, you noticed people from various far-flung places.
Yeah, absolutely. People were saying hi from Germany, hi from Brazil, all different places. That was nice to see them all, just everyone saying hello to each other.
Yeah, and we just talked about remote working and how we use the type of media to interact. And I think, again, that's one of the benefits of having this type of facility, to be able to present live, but also to locations everywhere, as you say, South America, North America, continental Europe, Asia, even the UK. There was we had people watching and listening, and as you say, that chat function, actually, again, it was really busy, and so it really, and when we had actually immediately after the live event, we had a bit of a immediate feedback between the speaker panel, and without exception, we've all been, as I say, party to this type of process and live event, and everyone's saying, wow, what, first and foremost, what a great attendance numbers. I'm not sure we've got the same attendance numbers for this live stream right now, so I'm disappointed by that, everyone. Where are you all?
We'll get there. We'll get there.
But also the engagement from those individuals. And as you say, Sadie, it was even people just say, hi from Brazil and hi from Germany and wherever, just to really reflect that I think we're making a bit, I talk about making a difference just now. We're making a bit of a difference in terms of amplifying. We are making a noise. Let's have it up again, please, Sadie. We are making a noise for age diversity. Thank you. Come on. We should have a little, I don't know, you know, hurrah when that comes up. We'll have to work on that.
Okay.
But seriously, it's and we have seen this in our work, in our day-to-day work with champion partners, with new organisations coming to us saying, you know, how do we get involved? What can we do? And hence, I'm jumping around a bit, but this is how our service provision develops. The What Can We Do series that Sadie showcased earlier, and that we've got 3 episodes on it, was because, you know, we're asked a lot, what can we do? You know, how do we get involved? So we want to give some practical guidance and practical tips, because it's, as well as, you know, it's great having policy and governance, which in many locations there's a legal requirement for that. But let's get into practice, you know, let's take that first step. And that's a big part of the conversation that I have in particular when speaking to, you know, particularly new organisations about, you know, take that first step. Yes, you're talking about it. It's great that you've recognised that age is an important factor, an important asset in the workplace. Now do something, you know, and which is why, did I just see Champion Age Diversity, by the way? Did I just see that? Let's have that. Thank you. That is our hashtag for Champion Age Diversity Day, but it's not just for June 11th. Let's use it throughout the year as well. And that actually is the title of our employer engagement program as well, something that we've developed over recent years. So this is the program where we invite organisations to champion age diversity, to meet certain criteria, certain behaviours, certain activities that absolutely demonstrate that commitment and consideration for age diversity in the workplace. But then the benefits and values of that are achieved by the organisation to be, you know, not just being a great place to work and for employees to get equity in their opportunity, but it has real business benefits as well. You know, the business case for age diversity is absolutely one that organisations should recognise, and working with us through that programme, we hope to help organisations achieve that. And as an immediate commitment, and again, we heard this just this week from some of our champion partners, that, and I've got it here. It's a new little prop.
But one out.
Yes, we need to get that sorted. But this is the Champion Age Diversity mark that champion partners and members can utilise to immediately showcase that they are age diverse champions. And this can be used in, you know, social media, on digital channels, on websites, on your careers page. It can be used around the workplace. But immediately it sends a message to the workforce that your organisation absolutely is committed and has consideration for age diversity in the workplace. So, and one of the other benefits it gives, as well as, you know, an immediate, we're committed to this, it allows the organisation to, through the age lens, also consider other parts of the inclusion agenda, other protected characteristics. The age agenda is truly intersectional, and it's in the opportunity to, through the age lens, look at other parts of the inclusion agenda. So it's a really powerful, immediate message to showcase. And actually, this came up in conversation this week with a new champion partner, where they were saying they saw value in commercial value in the bidding and tendering process, using it to demonstrate their commitments of levels of standards that they have when they're delivering work. So we've seen that before, and how it extends through supply chains and procurement. But yes, Champion Age Diversity. You get the badge to wear as well in terms of the actual that champion program. So where was I? June the 11th, Champion Age Diversity Day. Great success. I say it was. We inaugurated the day in 2019, so this was the third year, and I think this year we saw true exponential growth in terms of recognition of organisations being involved, of that live event. I think the year before we did it for the first time, I think we had about 40 people, 40 attendees, which we were really grateful for. Fantastic, because it was from nothing. But this year to have over 400, and I think in terms of registered interest, it was something like 700-800 people. So yeah, just blown away, and again the international appreciation of the challenge, but also how can we instill practice and develop opportunities that really remove barriers. So that was just fantastic, and a very special mention to and we were able to announce on the day. I've got how do I share there? Share. I want to share a window, and hopefully this works. Please tell me this works, Sadie.
I will let you know. Oh, and then
is that visible?
There we go.
So I can't see anything now other than the picture on the screen is an off-site team, a field team from Hunter Water, state-owned company in New South Wales, Australia, and so pleased to announce them as new champions on Champion Age Diversity Day. And as hopefully you can see, we should make this picture available somewhere. The team celebrating Champion Age Diversity Day with there's a T-shirt on view there, and also and something else we encourage through our activity suggestions on the Champion Age Diversity webpage to download media and signs to use. And I think you can see here a lot of things we've just been talking about. There's certainly no industry sector immune to the challenge, but the opportunity in terms of the international recognition. The live event was hosted in the UK, in London, but this was an organisation in Australia, absolutely reflecting the same commitments and opportunities for age diversity. And great to see, Sadie, if you remember, we spent quite a lot of time on those T-shirts design, didn't we? Well, I did.
Yeah,
get it right. And I should say, sorry, Sadie.
There were so many designs, but this one was definitely the best one. That pink colour is just brilliant.
Yeah, and another special thank you to our design team, Emma Jane Venables, done just a fantastic job. And it was Emma that actually came up with that pink broad brush design, which is so effective. And but I think you can see also, dare I say, a multi-generational group here, and just fantastic to see the message of age diversity, going far and wide. And I would just add actually that if you look at the weather in the background here, I was speaking with some of the team there during last week, and they said, the weather's really terrible here at the moment. I think it's their winter now, isn't it? And I think, I think it was about 18 degrees, and 18 degrees in Australia is obviously chilly, where here in the UK, we'd welcome that. But anyway, just I wanted to show this picture because I just think it's not only, congratulations to Hunter Water for really disseminating the message throughout the whole organisation, but just really shows how Champion Age Diversity Day has progressed, to date. And just on that, I'm going to stop sharing.
Yeah.
So, am I back?
You're back. It's us again.
But hopefully you got a good, see that, and we must get that somewhere on the Sadie. We must make a showcase that. There is a blog on the website welcoming Hunter Water, and there's a couple of other pictures on there actually. There's a picture of their management team with all of them wearing the t-shirts, which is just fantastic. So yes, please go look at the website, and there's a news article on there welcoming Hunter Water, a bit more information about them and what they do, and great organisation to have on board. So where was I going with that? I've lost my thread now. I was going to talk about Champion Age Diversity Day, international locations, Hunter Water. Yeah, it's all good. It's all good.
Yeah.
I was deflected by that news article. Just really blown away by the interest. I know what I was going to say. There's one thing to add. There's one thing I want to add, as I see we're getting near the half-hour mark, about how this day is being more recognised. Unfortunately, it was a bit too late this time around, but just this week, so just post June 11th, 2021, but we've actually had some communications with the United Nations about it being recognised at that level. So, which is just, another huge leap in terms of recognition. So, we'll be working on that over the next couple of months. There's various formal process it has to go through, but it's been received. Initially, it's been received well, and so hopefully, we can add that to the awareness opportunities. I would say as well, there's another website that highlights international recognised days. Just to say, I think also on June 11th, I think it's German Chocolate Cake Day as well. Just for interest. So maybe we could actually. We know it was actually Hunter Water as well. Produced Champion Age Diversity cupcakes on the day. So maybe we need to, dovetail with German Chocolate Cake Day. So next year we'll have German chocolate cake on Champion Age Diversity Day.
Mm-hmm. But we'll get white chocolate and then dye it blue so it can be age diversity blue, and then it can all be
absolutely blue. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, on that note, I think I'm gonna move on to actually finish. Actually, we had a topic of conversation today that I haven't even got to, so we'll save that. This is action versus evidence, and we'll talk about that in a future episode, because again, there's some stuff that we've been involved in over the last couple of weeks. Hopefully we'll be able to say a little bit more about soon, where sometimes the evidence doesn't always produce the right actions, or the actions don't always relate to the evidence in front of someone. So again, within this inclusion environment, evidence is really helpful it should be really helpful in decision making, and but even when the evidence is presented, sometimes the evidence is ignored, and we need to address that. And as I say, we've been working on something in the last month or so that hopefully we'll say a little bit more, probably maybe towards the end of July actually, so a little while yet, but hopefully there's something good coming there where we can give some more opportunity to support champion members with their policy decision making and how they implement strategy and good practice. So we look forward to that. Let's hopefully we can do that. So I think we're done, Sadie. So just a quick thank you. Sorry, Sadie, over to you too.
I was just going to say follow us on Twitter.
Yes.
And then his email address if you'd like to get in contact. And then, yeah, over to you, Steve. Sorry.
Yeah. And subscribe to YouTube. Subscribe to YouTube.
Yep, it's a age diversity. If you type in age diversity forum, it'll be the first one that comes up.
But actually, just as we said earlier, it's becoming a real resource pool. But it's, you know, that pool is filling up. It's just of all sorts of different things, which is really good. And within, I should say, because I know you do this, Sadie, within each of the videos, there's lots of links and descriptions to signpost to other things as well. So, so by just looking at one, you get access to other things as well, which is great. So I'm just going to say our leaving mantra, which is join us on the journey. Well, hey, it's like that was planned. But this is our, if you like, our slogan under the Making a Noise campaign. Join us on the journey. You know, really, organisations are beginning to see it. We're seeing a bit more leadership talk about it. We're the only organisation who can support that journey. I'm confident of saying that from what we've seen over recent times. So champion age diversity. Join us on the journey to raise awareness, amplify the messages, and we'll see you again next week. Bye for now.